Hi boys and girls, it's me Butch. It's Friday, the 24th of July, 2020 here in Vancouver. I'm 75 years old, and to keep myself busy in my old age, I paint and I make videos from time to time to let people know I'm still alive. And I've been thinking that I wanted to make a video about bisexuality and the concept or the term binary and non-binary for some time and to give you my take on it or my opinion. I'm assuming if you're here, you either have questions for yourself or about someone you know, and you're looking for answers. And I'll attempt to give them to you. I feel like my ears need popping. Yep, my left ear needs popping or something. So, about me, I'm 75, I'm almost 76, and I identify as queer. Um, and when it comes to the binary, non binary kind of thing, I would identify more with being binary. So I guess what we got to talk about here, just to give you a bit more about me, I'm definitely queer. I prefer younger men. I suffer from a condition called ephibolia or something like that. Apparently, I'm just for reasons I don't understand, and you could spend many hours on the shrink couch trying to find out. I'm attracted mainly to males between, for me, about 18 and 24. Um, I've been in a relationship. I had a boyfriend for 18 years. I had a brief relationship for a couple of years, and then a longer term relationship for 18 years, and he died 25 years ago from complications due to AIDS. He was 39. He looked much, much younger. He was my type is sort of very skinny waist and not too tall. That's sort of the main thing I look for. The thing is that I don't really feel that I'm part of the gay community. It doesn't help that I rarely drink and don't smoke. I'm a pot smoker, but I'm just not into the stereotypical gay culture. I feel sort of outside of it. And that's probably because I came out late and I came out in the late 60s. I came out late by age 22 is what I mean by late. And also in the late 60s when I was in the Navy and an officer. And it was illegal for men to have sex with each other anyway, which is why I chose to leave the Navy because I thought they might find out that I had discovered at around age 22 what gay was. The word gay wasn't really around to my knowledge. I guess it was, but I didn't know about it in the late 60s. Um, People were more likely to call me a homo or a faggot or a queer. And because I have been part of the Gay Liberation Front years ago, or part of the early gay pride movement, we embraced those terms. I have no shame in calling myself any of those names. You want to call me a faggot? I take pride in being a fag. Fags are pretty cool people, a lot of them. But they're not all the same. And many people associate being gay or queer with the stereotypical gay person who might be quite flamboyant and possibly effeminate. Uh, but there's a wide range of gay and queer people. So let's talk about binary, non binary for a minute. That's kind of a new term that younger people are adopting. And it's a little difficult to nail down sometimes. So I suggest if you have a friend who identifies as non-binary that you just ask them if they could explain to you what that means. So you just tell them, it'll help you understand them better, just so you get their take on what it means. But the binary, non-binary comes from the old concept, or it wasn't really a concept, but the generalized idea that the world is divided into male and female, and those that are born with a penis are males, and those that are born with a vagina are females. It doesn't really talk much about the fact that there's an unfortunate number of people who are born with genitalia that aren't quite identifiable as either sex, or if the penis is so incredibly small or underdeveloped that decisions are often made to just surgically raise a child as a girl. They just do a few nips and tucks to make it more that way, and psychologically the child is raised as a girl. So this is where all this binary and non-binary thing can start to fall apart. There are many people that may be in a male body but might identify as being a female, and there may be females that feel that they got cheated and like, where's my penis? Where's my balls? What the hell? I demand my penis. And in their heads, they're a boy. So these kind of people are non-binary, and they just don't fit the regular mold. And there's a whole lot of gay and queer people who might choose to identify as non-binary because they're a bit young and a little embarrassed to either call themselves a fag or queer. I'm not embarrassed. I'm a fag. Call me what you want. I'm me. I'm a nice guy. Um, it doesn't bother me one bit. I'm really I'm really happy that I came out the way I am. I mean, I wish there was things that went differently in the past, but yeah, I like boys, that's for sure. And you have to understand that even amongst guys who like guys and girls who like girls, that their sexual habits may vary a bit. The conception amongst a lot of straight people I've met is that guys guy sex is all anal, and that's not the case. There are a lot of gay men, and I'm one of them, who are very oral. Um, I'm an oral kind of guy. Not to say that I haven't been involved with anal sex with other guys, both as a top and a bottom, but primarily as a top. But I'm diverting here. Uh, I want you to get from me my take on binary and non-binary is it's a way of getting away from the straightforward idea that uh, the world is divided simply into men and women, and that's the way it is, that men like women and women like men. And we all know now, or should know by now, that there's a whole lot of variations in between. So bisexual, what is bisexual? For a lot of young people coming out, it's convenient to call themselves bisexual because maybe they really aren't sure. And they might be embarrassed to be identified as queer or gay. It's a lot easier these days in 2020 than it was in the late 60s for a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old to identify as gay. It's just much easier. But they still have to be careful that some bully doesn't beat the crap out of them. It's not all that safe entirely yet. And where was I going with this? So bisexual, are there really bisexual people? And the term bisexual meaning that whether you were born as a male or a female, you're attracted to both sexes. If you're a guy, you're attracted to both women and to men, or if you're a woman, the same thing. Um, Give me just one second. Oven just went beep. Cooking dinner. I shall be just a moment. I'm back. That tells me I'm making this video longer than I thought it should be. I go on and on like a dripping tap. It, when a fetus is being made into a baby, they all start as girls anyway. And because of the way the male sperm and female egg meet with the different chromosomes, sometimes instructions are, thou shalt be a boy. And what happens is the female reproductive organs form into a penis, and the ovaries become testes, the guy's balls, and they have to be kept cool. That's why they hang down outside the guy's body. They don't make sperm very well if they get too hot, so they dangle to keep cool. Um, Checking to see if my computer's working here. See, I can't tell if my computer's working. This might not be working. Seems to be. I can't see a picture happening here, which is bothering me. Am I working? I don't know. I've had a relationship with a guy for 10 years, and I was in my early 40s, 44 when I met him, and he was 18, just about 19. And we had a relationship over 10 years, and I outlasted 5 girlfriends. He loved girls, and I think it was only because he bumped into me and I offered to do him, and he liked it, that we sort of became friends. And after 10 years, we did engage in anal sex with each other, bareback even. But he moved to New York. He was about 30 then, and I moved to Vancouver to retire. And I lost touch with him. And I would wonder if he was bisexual or he became a bit bisexual or it was always in him. But it made me realize there's a ton of guys that, under the right condition, will have sex with either their own sex or the opposite sex. And there's many guys that think that they're supposed to get married, and next thing you know, they're married and having kids, and they realize that they like guys. And they're not bisexual, but they're better candidates for calling themselves somewhat bisexual. But on the whole, my experience is that if a person is truly bisexual, that they prefer one sex over the other. And the test to me is, if it's a guy, if a guy identifies as bisexual, if he finds the idea of sticking his tongue into a girl's private parts disgusting, he's really gay and only somewhat bisexual. You know, if it, and the same thing if he found it disgusting to put a guy's penis in his mouth, he's more inclined towards women. That's about the only real acid test I can think of. But yes, there are some people that are slightly bisexual, but the real test is oral sex. If one person is not prepared to perform oral sex on the other, there's a chance that they're not quite the sex that they thought they were. Most of our sexual drives come from our hormones anyway. Some of it's genetic, it's just built in, but there are some bisexual people. I'm not one of them. I have had sex with, I think, a total of 5 women when I was very young, and it was interesting. Uh, would I ever do it again? I think I'm too old to perform, but it's not what interests me, you know, and the idea of my sticking my tongue in a girl's privates is definitely disgusting to me. definitely. Yuck. So I'm definitely a fag, that's for sure. Oh, the computer's working good. I've been going on for 15 minutes. So if you saw the picture frozen for a while there, I don't know what the computer was doing. Work, work. I'm just using the webcam here because I keep saying, oh, I gotta make this video, and it's hard to prepare for it, but I know there's people out there that wonder if they're gay or if they're queer or if they're bisexual, but if you masturbate and you're a guy and you're thinking about another guy, you're gay. If you're thinking about, if you're a guy and you're thinking about a girl's tits or her privates or something like that, you're either bisexual or straight. And if both of them turn you on, well, you're bisexual. And for you, there is a bit of a choice, but don't go running off and get married before you make up your mind, and realize that within the gay community, there's all kinds of types. And just because two guys meet doesn't mean they have the remotest interest in having sex with each other. It's all more complicated than that. You know, there's all kind of chemistry that goes on, and who's your type and who's not your type. There are some people out there that don't seem to give a crap if it's breathing, it's sexable. In the gay community, we would call them pigs. They'll have sex with anyone. If it moves, they'll do it. But those aren't common. Most people have types. My type have very skinny waists, and I like the shy types who are curious, and brains would help. But I've gone on and on here for, oh crap, nearly 17 minutes. I don't know if this was useful or not, but I gave it my best shot that don't get all concerned about the term binary and non-binary. It's a little confusing. It just means they're people that they don't want to be identified as anything. They want to avoid the LGBT, geez, I forget, lesbian, gay, transsexual, uh, I've lost it, LGBTQ, queer, me, I'm queer. I identify as queer. They just want to avoid that, and uh, it may be their way of saying that the body they're in does not have anything to do with their sex, that they're just in the wrong body altogether, completely. And whatever you think their sexual interest is, you're probably wrong. So just ask them. And if somebody tells you they're bisexual, just run with it. If your sex life is good, well, you know, be safe. Be safe. My somewhat bisexual 10-year relationship boyfriend and I were not safe, but I knew pretty much for a fact who his girlfriend was he was having regular sex with, and he knew I was safe because I got checked regularly. After I found out my boyfriend was HIV positive, I got checked regularly every year after that. And I might be immune, but I'm still HIV negative. So, my straight boyfriend definitely wanted me to bang him and to plant my seed in him, and I did. That's my dirty story for today. I'm going to shut up. 18 minutes, nearly 19 minutes. You're still here. If you have questions, just post them below, and if I'm still alive, I'll try to answer them. So that's bye-bye from Butch. It's on. I'm going to click this thing, and Butch is gone.